Good morning, everyone. No, you can't see me, but you will do shortly as we go inside. I have been awake for about an hour, and I was going to come to you guys last night, but needed to really allow the energy to sink in to get more downloads so that I could come to you guys live. But we are going to be talking about the twin flame path. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin. I'm currently in union. And some of the energy has been really shifting through this Venus retrograde. And it's really what I wanted to touch base on. There is several groups, and as a medium, obviously some of the energies that I get is collective energy, and and you can't see me yet, but you will see me as we go inside, and I'll be doing a tarot reading as well as a psychic reading. But some of the energies that have been coming through with this Venus retrograde for particular groups of you has been extremely heavy. Now, those of you in communication, those of you really going through that purgatory experience, and the other group of you, which is a particular wave, and it's no matter which way, it's not wrong, it's not right, it's a part of the process. There's another group of you that doesn't feel them at all, doesn't feel them on the 5D, doesn't feel them on the 3D, and that is perfectly normal, and it is moving into a state of union. So with this energy that's been coming through, I was seeing a few synchronistic, cryptic kind of messages, which is quite unique because, really I embody the energy, but sometimes my guides do use sort of songs, which you'd notice that with other mediums as well. Hi, Houston. How are you? How is everyone? Yes, you can't see me, but you will shortly. I'll be inside and we'll do the tarot reading. I'm still in my jammy jacket, but I had to come to you guys live because I really want to get these messages out before I get into my private consult clientele. Now, some of the frequencies coming through for particular groups of you is sleep apnea. You may be so very fatigued right now, but you're finding that you're actually having trouble sleeping. The energy is such is because a lot of things that need to come up are coming up. There also can be an imbalance and a balance happening, and I do feel it's more a balance happening than anything. But you're really going into this, it's almost like a similar energy of the dark night of the soul. Now, around 2017-18, for those of you who are in the detached energy, I went through that too. So it is perfectly normal. You do come to a very exhausted level. You do come to a very practical level. But others of you, even those that are in communication, in union, and, I have really searched YouTube to try and find, there are particular readers that do actually cover union, and I really do feel it's a large energy. No, Dale, you're not. I've only just started, and you can't see me at the moment, but you will see me shortly as I go inside. So I'm basically sitting out the back. I'm having my cuppa, and then from there we'll go inside and we'll do the card reading. Now, a few cryptic messages that have been coming through have been your feelings towards your divine masculine. Now, this can be linked into the past very much. Well, it's quite obvious, really. I mean, it's Venus retrograde, but it won't just be one energy. And particular readers also will be picking up on this energy too. In a sense that we're reflective back over energies. And I do bounce into different channels now and then. But obviously, always, you will come to a space where you have to sit with that energy after, and you need to mentally process it and feel if it resonates, if you've learned something, and if there's something you can take away from the situation. The cryptic messages I've been seeing is really to do with potentially fear-based frequency. So has the masculine ascended? Are they on their throne? Are they, and it doesn't even have to be directly linked to the masculine. It can be external energies that maybe have influences on the situation. It can be the way you move through the matrix to get to that end goal. And another thing that's been coming up quite largely is, has too much time passed? And with the too much time passed, again, it is more a spiritual process than an actual reality 3D based. Everything is always in perfect alignment. But the purge of potentially, some of your hopes and dreams that you'd wanted, and some of those things coming full 360, depending on how long you've been on the journey, it can end up being a purge. you will get to that space where you feel quite understanding in detachment. But initially, and especially at the moment, there is a lot of large energies coming up, and there's a lot of fight and flight, almost being on guard for some of you, not all of you, because some of you are already reaching that stage of complete detachment. But again, there can be a slight aspect there that, although that's very healthy, there also can be a frequency where you may not believe this person's coming back. And, you know, if you actually were in the awareness that they could turn up at your door, it's very different how you will feel when you see the person in the 3D over your mind coming to terms with it. So, you know, just sit with that energy and feel to yourself, how would you be if the person turned up completely in alignment, ready to go? Would you challenge your fair base frequency? Because when that does happen, it can be a purge of the ego that you believe that, you know how this is going to go. Energetically, when we're away from our ego, which again, it can be very psychic energy too, it's to the point where, you're not purging, you're not thinking on it, and somebody just randomly asks you a question and says, how would you feel if they turned up now? And your true energy comes through when you ask that question. And sometimes you can, quite frankly, really, freak out and go, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I think I need to do more work. And it's just challenging that. And it's not necessarily that you have more work to do. I definitely went back into union with work. So don't feel that you have to be in perfect alignment. No, there are pockets of energies that simply can't be healed without the two of you maybe doing work together, communicating, and it doesn't even have to go into a complete romantic relationship, but for many of you, it will end up being that. But needing to get to the space where you realize that everything you've learned and everything you've endured is going to be your tool to deal with the adversity. And if you're working well with your own ego, and that's really what it comes down to, if you're able to tame your nav man, so to speak, of, oh my gosh, this is going to happen again. And that's really, I was seeing a nursery rhyme, and it was, how did it go? I've got the script inside. I kept saying it through the previous reads for mid-month to June. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. Now, Muffet directly links to a lower chair, a lower throne. And I kept thinking, why am I hearing this bloody nursery rhyme? But it kept happening to the point where, and this is the way my guides work with me, especially if I'm seeing a past over person, it's like they'll be trying to tell me something cryptic and I need to decipher the code. So going through that, really looking at it, plus the spider, very much linking into the feminines being very afraid of maybe old webs, maybe our work domain, maybe what we're going to do, and whether there's something very hidden from us that we don't know, and what will that mean. The tangled webs we weave when in practice to deceive. The funny thing is, honest to God, through all this time of growing and doing healing, the thing is, a lot of times we have been there ourselves, and we have directly, maybe not lived a completely authentic way of being, and that can even just being honest with our emotions, maybe feeling emotions in connections and not articulating them for fear of punishment or consequence, which is, it's attachment, it's a codependent pattern. It's a bit, I used to say life was a game of chess, and then when I moved through that, I realized that it's only a game when you're playing. But when you're detached from the outcome, and that's where the learning to be detached is incredibly important, you actually are being kinder to yourself. When we say come correct, the important thing is you can't change what another person does, but you can change the recipe, in a sense, of how you directly relate to it. So coming correct should always come back to you. What are you allowing yourself to do? What are you not allowing yourself to do? Are you explaining how you feel? Can you be authentic and be emotional and purge in front of a person that you're in love with? the feeling of needing to chase. And there is a lot of runner chaser energy coming up at the moment. And I'm like, man, I'm so surprised that energy's come up, but I really shouldn't be. There has been a good 4 years, really, with the astrology that has been so heavy. And we're moving into Neptune going retrograde. So Neptune in relationships, let's talk about that one. Plus we've got Black Moon, Lilith and Pisces, which is where Chiron was when we were all purging about 2 years ago. It was horrendous. So it's still for the whole year having that undertone of our shadow work coming up, but we've got Aries and Chiron, which is really great. It means we're going to look at things from a more controlled perspective, are more able to deal with that wound. There's good things that Aries and Chiron brings, which, yes, it's warlike energy, but we're able to fight those demons. We're able to look at those things. But it has been quite horrendous and tiring. So, with the Neptune and Pisces, hi Pisces, Chris, psychologically, spiritually, Pisces know this. It's like, you can dream the dream, but at times dreaming it and applying it is two different things. And then is it a potential? And because next month we're going to be having Neptune going retrograde, already we're having themes of this. So we are moving into this Venus retrograde, which is Mercury movement, communication. It can deal with children and families. So some of us, if we have a twin with children and families, things to that degree can come up. Maybe we had a wound that we wanted children with them, inner child wounds as well. So with those, it's like looking at that and realizing, and synchronistically enough, we are going to be having Chiron going retrograde as well. So it's to gauge how we're going. It's to gauge how we're feeling within the frequency. Have we come far enough? And it's not a competition. And by no means, whenever you're looking at time, disconnect from time. And you don't even need the trust. You just need to come to a peaceful place. That's all you're needing to do. The term for me in Twin Flame path, and in any path really, regardless, it's like patience. Trust me, you guys have patience. It's not patience. It's also not divine timing. All of that can shift in 24 hours. It is about mindset and being able to really tap into yourself and say, okay, move through the fear, move through the trigger. Allow yourself to actually embody that if it comes up. Don't be so angry. We are listening, but we are going into the camera shortly. Allow yourself to have those emotions. Don't micromanage your healing. If it comes up, it needs to come up. It's better in than out. It's better out than in, right? So having that come up does not mean that you are a lower frequency human being. You are acknowledging the fact that you have a painful experience. It's a wound, it's a scar. And when you're subjected to that, it is like PTSD. It's not nice, right? Yeah, but at the moment we need to be very careful because we could run the risk of, we want to break the cycle. So the challenge at the moment for feminines is to not turn into the runner. Because, we do have this lifetime and we've come so far. And with the masculines being in the Mars and Jupiter energy, the energy at the moment is, we take it so personal, but we need to look back at our journey. And I know I'll get haters for this, and I've been on the path 20 years, so I know how this goes. But the thing is, sometimes we have to hear the hard truth. It is very difficult to watch the process of ascension, and masculines are ascending. Your ego may be telling you they're not. Your ego may not have compassion for them right now, but that is out of alignment energy, and anybody can hurt you. Yes, with a particular path it has, but it's been if I'm perfectly honest, there's hurt from many individuals in my life. I mean, Ascension Tarot talks about this, and I'm watching her bloom, beautifully, and it's unique that I watch her process. I am in union, and the funny thing is we do have energy vampires when it does come to our ascension process. Our healing doesn't just come down to our twin. It comes down to our mother and father. Our energy, through that ascension process, you are actually becoming a psychic. And through that, what you need to understand is your energy is yours. You're allowing vibration to come into you. So while you're tuning into mother, brother, father, sister, ex, and you're thinking on that too much, it can even be directly connected to something that you endured. Energies siphon you. So, like I said, you always need to stick your head after, breathe the energy out, and tune into something very simple. And it's so that you don't get so fatigued. So this vampire energy that comes through, you're already going through ascension symptoms. You need to learn how to deal with your energy. So the tools I try and give you guys is so that you can protect your auric system. When you're having heavy ascension symptoms, you can't be sending no love and light because you're too fatigued. That's like having a Reiki specialist come in and do work on you when they're purging. We wouldn't do that, would we? So we need to look at ourselves that way. We are energy. How is our energy? Are we feeding our energy? Are we giving it good nutrients? At the moment, I know that my body was calling for a detox. So I have been going through a purge of foods, going back to very, liquid. I'm thinking of just real clean energy food, be it it's liquid, be it it's really flushing that system at the moment. I know a lot of base chakra, solar plexus and sacral chakra has been coming up. A lot of third eye and crown chakra. And a lot of it, hi Eddie, and the camera's not on yet, but it will be. A lot of those energies that are coming up is because we do have a lot of the planets retrograde. So, clearing yourself, clearing your energy with good, healthy food, good, healthy liquid, using the time to recuperate, taking your energy back. It is very aggressive and it's it's fight and flight energy. And this fight and flight energy, the only thing we're bloody going to do is run from ourselves. And you can't do that. You don't want to be repeating these cycles. You don't want to be getting to a point where you're extending something out. You need to walk into it. So if you're needing to, take a moment. Take a moment within that frequency. See what's coming up for you and allow it to come. I am seeing 2 groups coming through moving to union. I'm also seeing another group of you that's way further back. But that's merely because of elements that are going on. But the ascension process is going to be extremely quick. A lot of this will be rounded up between now and 2023, and it's because of the aggression of the astrology. And the ascension process with Jupiter and Aquarius is really going to be waking a lot of people up in the collective. But the defense energy, even me and Yin and I have that. So I know this is collective energy. It's knowing that, the journey has been a long time, and knowing that it's been very tiring. And when you get the fight and flight, you have that unconditional love and understanding, but you don't want to be running from yourself because it's not just, and that again is the ascension symptoms. And that's what I mean. Having to get into a grounded state. If you're tired, right? So you're tired, you're fatigued, there's the ringing in the ears, there's the nausea and dizziness. Because we're basically going through a purge. Some of you have disconnected to it to a point where you've tapped out of yourself. So you're too in your masculine energy, very much in hunter-gatherer mode, building your careers, doing things to that degree, being on strong mode. You do need to spend an element of that time meditating. And unless you do that, you do become slightly out of alignment because, you're not listening to yourself. So the listen is really to listen to yourself. What's coming up for you? How are you? Where are you at? And, if nothing comes up, that's great. That's perfect. And that is part of the process too. And part of that process, like if nothing is coming up, you're in acceptance of everything. You're in acceptance of everything, how it stands and the way it is at this point in time. Oh, God, I knew he'd call. I was like, I'm going to do a reading first thing in the morning, and now my twin's going to call. Let's get inside and do this reading. He'll probably call me again. Anywho, so you're going to be watching me walking through the house. You're going to see my ugly head. This isn't about me. This is about you. And we'll get into the card reading because I want to check this energy. It's nice and warm in here. It's 5:30 in the 5:40 now. I've been up since 4:30. Let's have a look. So this is beautiful, my first thing in the morning. But I wanted to come to you guys and do this reading. So the nursery rhyme I was listening to was really connected into, what's it called? I've forgotten the name of it now. The girl in the nursery rhyme is called Patience. And there's a few cryptic messages inside it. It's, how does the nursery rhyme go again? See, this is how vague it's getting with this song. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. Now, the tuffet is a low seat, and it also directly correlates with doubtfulness. So again, some of you are questioning where you are on the scale. Have you ascended enough? Is the masculine up there? Is somebody going to take from you what is yours? These themes have been coming up. And some of the things, yes, I will note, have been taken from you. And it is a very, very karmic cycle coming up. So I'm going to pull cards in that area as well. Now, the girl's name was Patience, okay? So the Patience energy, and there was one card that fell on the floor, and I knew it was for us. So I was like, I'm going to pick this card up off the floor, which is from a separate deck, so I've left it there as the crowning energy, because it is the Page of Cups. Okay, now this is messages of love, but the thing is, alignment is going to be very important. Not going back into the fair base frequency. Some of these old things, you've got to understand. If there's been dramas and you guys have been in separation, crap's going to be coming up. It's a reality, right? So with that energy, the curds and whey, it's almost like what I was getting in a theme coming through. This does link back to Queen of Scots, okay? And there was aspects around that time of religious kind of suppression, not being able to cope. Now, who you have to sit beside her was the spider. Now, the spider is the energy of the web we weave, right? And then it moved into a different song. Oh, what a wicked web we weave when in practice two to see. So those could be two energies you could look at to sit with and meditate. You can look at the nursery rhyme. You can look at the song. They're both songs. The thing is, yes, things get messy. And that's a reality on Twin Flame Path and in life in general, right? But trying to come to terms with that, the intricacies, how do you say it? The way that life is spun is not always by the specs of what we thought. And that's a truth. I can tell you some of the beautiful hopes and dreams I have with my twin did not come to pass, were given to other people. And there is a process of coming to terms with that. And you're in acceptance of it, and you're incredibly grateful for the journey you've had. And I mean, Twin and I have been together for a while now. But there's also, because, you know, your masculine will be also having their own hopes and dreams stashed and pain body experiences. And, you know, feminines, it wasn't that they don't acknowledge you. It wasn't that they don't love you. They do. It's not that at all. It is, all of us have been in a connection where we have been unable to directly explain. We have had a connection to a person and felt the vibration of love. We have also felt indebted to people, guilty, feeling that we wish we could be normal and just accept things and be in gratitude, which we were. And by looking at that, you know, correlate that back to when they're stuck. Okay, because I have been in karmic relationships. I've been in soulmate energies, and that's even harder. Being in a soulmate energy and knowing that person is perfect. And this is part of the problem in the Twin Flame Path. You get to a place, and this is where you guys run the risk of doing this right now, where you are thinking this person is impossible for them to get to where you need them to be, that you run and you end up with a soulmate, and it will be more hurtful for you to separate from a soulmate because another energy has entered into that equation where you need to face your fears. You extend the journey that way. If theoretically, right, this is your last life, theoretically, right? Not that I'm unbelieving of that. I'm not that bloody lucky, right? If nothing else mattered, and this is an energy that comes up in your life at all times, don't run. Do not run. You are hurting yourself. You are going to hurt yourself more. My bloody computer's going to probably go, da-da-dum. Sit with it. Don't allow other energies into your life until you've healed. And then, yes, if you need to, if you're divinely guided, 100%. But if you do run, you're extending that journey. You really are. All that hard work you've done, you're extending that journey, which is what I did. I really did do that. So, and it was not that the person wasn't perfect. They really were. They were wonderful. But it's about accepting yourself and accepting what your likes are. It doesn't have to make sense to people, right? It doesn't have to make sense at all. For me, I was very traditional. I found somebody who I believed was a match. And all elements we really got on, but it was like I was connected to me. Whereas, were there challenges? Yes, there were challenges. When you end up with a soulmate, you will have synchronistic mirroring coming through with that individual. You'll also get the shadow energy with the karmic of getting the polar opposite of what you ever bloody wanted. But initially, it looks really fine and dandy. So, relationships for me took a turn for the worst. More so from the perspective that I realized I was running from myself. So the connections I was attracting were a mirror of myself. So you can't escape ascension and transformation. So part of the transformation that you guys are going through is you feel energetically. Have you ever seen those hyperbaric chambers where, we're trying to create a conditioning? We're trying to climb into that energy. So it's a perfect environment. So we never have to have that ego triggered again. We don't want it. No, don't want it. I want this perfect world that is manageable. I can preempt what's going to happen. It's very dull. I mean, what the hell are we asking for, right? Getting to that point. Yeah, I know. I was eating to the point where it was like my eating disorder was coming through. It's like, what the devil's going on here? Yildiz, come on. And again, go into the energy of how you feel. Sit with your energy. Be nurturing to yourself. Be okay with yourself. I noticed even today, there's a lot in the media to do with Adele. And the thing is, my twin said to me the other day, I said to him, I feel very sluggish and I'm really needing to detox. And I said, I want to lose some weight. And he goes, but I love you the way you are. And the thing is, we have to love ourselves. That's all it comes down to. I mean, yes, it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's always about us, what's going on. So alignment is very important. There is this risk that you guys are getting very scared. It's perfectly understandable. Go into that energy. Now, the thing is, for you guys, especially with this nursery rhyme, researching the song, even the lyrics, even the song, the way it comes through, it's a repetitious pattern, right? With this repetitious pattern coming through, that's how you guys directly are feeling your life has been. Eat, pray, repeat, purge, similar energies occurring within the path, similar interferences in the path, and it's taking a stand. It's really getting to a point where you're saying, you have to tap into your heart chakra, though. Be it you're in communication with your twin, be it you're not. And, don't powder puff crap. Don't get to a point where you sweep your emotions and put that poker face on. I mean, this is not the time for... Yes, it's time to be mature in your communication and adult about it and own your BS, 100%. And yes, for them, that's theirs. But that's why I say with the chalk, draw a circle around you. Look at the fact that they need to deal with theirs. Don't do their work for them. You will directly both trigger each other enough for that work to occur. If you can synchronistically see it, and I really do in the Twin Flame Collective with the masculines at the moment, see that they are coming to terms with hope stashed as well. And that, if you're angry about that, are you angry that your hopes were dashed? Have a look at that. How do you feel about that? Are you nurturing yourself with that? Do you have compassion for yourself for that? Again, situational ships come through due to that. I mean, I could be angry at 100 people, but it's pointless being angry. It's better to go into, Yildiz, I understand that you are disappointed that you didn't have X, Y, and Z, but what do you have now? Where are we today? We are here today. We can't turn time back. And hell to the no, would I want to go over it again? No, 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 no. That was shit. But there were beautiful things too. There were beautiful things. But, you learn lessons through the process. You will be able to communicate. If you go to the next person, right, it is, but it's not wasted. Your life is not a waste. We need to detach from creating perfection. It's impossible. You need to understand your life is not a waste. And when we deem it as it's been a waste, we're disappointed, but your life and the process has not been a waste. It will serve a purpose. And I see this in my life now. So if there's been betrayals, if there's been codependency, any of that, I'm able to sit with my twin and we're able to be raw and organic towards each other, which I can't say I can do that with anybody else. I can't say that we can actually call a pot, a pan, and pull the piss out of each other. Going through that, we can laugh at our wounds. I can like pick at him and he can pick at me, but it's comedy, it's light, we know each other, we get to that. So you know this person, be it you want to look at it or not, the amount of time that's passed, the adversity both of you endured are what is bonding you. However you choose to move through that, you will see that on the other side. When we detach, sometimes we detach from ourselves. So it's, yes, you are a lot of disappointment of your hopes and dreams are coming up. Half of those hopes and dreams weren't hopes and dreams for masculine. And I mean more so from if you feel they gave them to other people. It was what other people wanted, not what he wanted. And the same applies on our side. We were living from the perspective of not being authentic. And I don't feel by any means I'm saying that it's done on purpose. It is when you're not awake, we do these things. After the fact, you feel like a donkey. But because you're thinking, wow, I need to be very adult now, I'm very respectful. And I mean, a lot of feminines, mostly, I will say, the hard part is you potentially acted with integrity for a majority of the time. And that's so. So some of you might have bounced back into your masculine energy, maybe reacting very similar to a masculine, and that's not going to help either. But it helps you gain insight into their perspective. And that, the goal we are moving towards is having a very deep, deep connection with a human being, whoever that be. So by not facing these things and dealing with them, we're preventing that. We're running from what we actually want. So we do need to really look at that. Now, the first card you got is the Ten of Cups, which I'm telling you, these are two cards. It is coming, but you need not run. And there is a vibration spiritually you guys are running from. And I do feel it's because you energetically, we've got the astrology, Venus retrograde. So it's going to be coming out of the woodworks, all those skeletons. Are we getting the same path? Is it going to happen again? When is this person going to recreate a new resume? Are we saying what we mean and meaning what we say? All of that to the degree is coming to the forefront. Is this same song and dance going to keep repeating? No, not if you keep dancing that way. Yeah, it's going to be. But if you directly connect to it, you don't need patience. The thing is, patience, and this is a key to the twin flame journey. I'll put you in on a little secret. While you are tuning into the theme of patience, do you know what you're saying in your head? This is going to take a long time. No. Switch that. I am worthy of this now. I am ready. I am open, and I will accept how it comes. I have all the tools I need, and I will deal with it as it moves and be in this one moment. And you need to practice that because time is fluid. And when we're tuning into patience, we're thinking it's going to be arduous. You need to tune out of that. No, we're not looking at that vibration. We are looking at being in the understanding that there is no hypodermic chamber that we can sit in, and it's all allergen free, that we will not experience anything. There is no element on earth that has that. So you're kidding yourself. Be fluid to understand that your intuition doesn't protect you against another person's actions. Your intuition for self controls you, helps you. Fight and flight is, okay, something's coming up, but is there something that is, or is it a fair-based frequency? If you're uncomfortable about something, you need to learn to talk. And you can't, again, control what the person does, but you can be direct. You can be direct in the way you speak, and the healthy boundaries with self. You can say to yourself, right, this is how I'm feeling, this is how it makes me feel, I don't like that. And that's all you need to do. What they do with it, you then have a decision to make about what you're going to do in that and step back slightly. But you are creating healthy boundaries and you're operating from a place of truth. You're operating from a place of authenticity. You're not micromanaging and mincing your words. You're not walking on eggshells. Exactly. You are. So are they, right? As human beings, we are all worth it when we are triggered and we have lessons to learn. It is a horrible experience to go through. We need to realize this. That's an energy they need to deal with, Ange. It's something they need to deal with. We'll get into the energy because I know my twin's calling me in. It's Monday, and I've got clients today as well, and I've got to get my daughter up shortly to get her ready. Again, if you're wanting coaching, and I can tune into the psychic energy of... Now, I'm feeling external energy influences, so I'm going to tune into what these are. I want to see where these bloody energy vampires are coming from, because we're tuning into it as a collective. It doesn't have to be that it's masculine, but masculines are really, at the moment, going through a process of owning their power. And that has been difficult because they haven't been heard, they haven't been respected, they haven't been acknowledged, and they haven't fought for what they want. It's been handed to them on a crap stick, and they've been enduring that, and it's not appetizing. It's just not, right? Masculines. Okay, so the overall energy, the external energy. Okay, this, reflecting back, yes, you guys want a balance. You want a balance to the point where you weren't going through so much crap. You wanted your counterpart to be nurturing, loving, forgiving, strong, where they could deal with all of these aspects of adversity. You saw this in them previously. You saw this as a potential, but you were operating from the perspective of what the potential could be, not where it was. And this is where the adult is coming up in you. The other aspect is very much, if they were able to give that to somebody else, your ego is telling you, why were you able to give this to somebody else, but you weren't able to give this to me? But the thing was, when we're triggered and we have a painful experience, we will attract a lesson to us. So they directly are lessons. The energy of what they endured through that connection, you potentially may be judging, you might be jealous of it, you might feel inferior, you might feel replaced. That can be anything. It can be work, it can be family, whatever that energy is. Something was taken from you, but it was taken from you prior to this event. It was because you poured all of your cup into this person. That was one very synchronistic lesson I learned, which it wasn't that you aren't and you don't. It's that you need to give equally to yourself as well. What you were doing at the beginning of the journey was visionary, right? Very Neptune. You saw the potential. You held it in your hand and nurtured it, feminines, and could see the potentiality. And yes, energy can swap. So you could be a feminine and a masculine energy. Connect the dots how it resonates. So seeing what the potential was and investing in it, the thing is, you can't tell a person how to be. So inside, very similar to when I was losing weight, I had lost weight, a lot of weight. And I still energetically inside my head believed myself to be much larger, which was quite humbling. And I think it was great because I just became myself of who I was. I was who I was when I was overweight. I was who I was when I was slimmer. But I still embodied that energy of being that larger person. And no matter which way, if anyone told me, it has to be inside here that it connects. And unless those dots connect, you can't tell somebody how to feel. So if you can see an energy of a masculine stuck, you can't fix that. It is a process they have to go through. You don't want to move into the frequency of being the healer. Through walking as example, you do. Maybe sharing your experiences, yes, you do. But directly, sometimes the masculines do have very old souls and do have very stubborn backs, I'll bloody tell you. You can even see the way my eyes slant down, like, oh my God, this is old. Some of their experiences have to come through in 3D. Because it can come across as ego and controlling, and if they have a correlating energy with a mother or a father, they'll repel that. So, yes, it is frustrating. So they saw you as that. But the lesson was for you to see yourself that way. So meanwhile, this is why we do the mirror work, guys. You're saying, I see you to be this. I see you to be all of these potentials. Husband, father, partner, best friend, intimate partner, hopes, dreams, right? And they're like, I'm hearing, and this is the way masculines work, guys, I need to do X, Y, and Z to be all those things you see me to be. But the funny thing is, you saw them as that regardless. You didn't actually, at that point, need them to change, but they knew synchronistically in order to be all those things they'd need to change. And I always say it's like meeting the right person at the wrong time, quite frankly. And it really is true. So there's growth that needs to come. It's like, what came first, the apple or the tree? Well, the apple or the tree. Right. So in that theory, you guys didn't understand that what they were saying was, you're already there and I'm down here. I'm intimidated. I've got some work to do. And I don't feel worthy of you seeing me this way. I don't feel good enough to have who I'm seeing you as, because you do tend to be quite opposite in a sense of what you are. So you don't tend to feel you fit in each other's world. You just don't. You feel as though you, feminine, are trying to change to fit into their world, and they're trying to change to fit into your world. And you will go off and actually live very unique experiences and end up fitting in both worlds. And notice how unique you both are. All right. This has been a very hard path. It's been very vengeful. There has been a lot of warlike energy. It can be with external energies. It's also with our purging inside ourselves. It's with direct impact influences. It's the anger that people are feeling in the collective at the moment. And it's on both sides of the fence, I'm telling you. Both masculines and feminines are pissed at how things have gone. Frustrated with the blockages in the path. Frustrated with interferences. Frustrated with trying, and it has been, I would say, for 2 years now, trying to recorrect the balance. You know, to get things back on track, to try and make the best on each side of the fence. And it's horrendous, I can tell you. When you have a karmic debt to a karmic, and that's for feminines and masculines, you will purge that process because you feel indebted. Like, because it is a karmic lesson and it's past life energy. You're wanting it to move quick. It can, but you need to detach from tuning into certain energies to allow that to flow. So feminines, yes, you do have a role on this. While you're tuning into it, which is what we're doing here right now, right? It's like, what I mean is, when we're having that painful experience, once you process it, smudge stick your head off. That's all you need to do. And then you're not refeeding that. You're thinking, you're tuning, which is third eye and crown chakra. If it's all here, and a lot of headaches over the weekend were coming up with you guys. So as I'm tuning into the collective, I was getting headaches. I was getting nausea. It was like food poisoning. It's like, this is horrendous. What's going on here? Tension in the neck, sinuses. It was like my eyesight started going blurred. It was like, wow. And this always happens to me when I'm channeling energies. I will embody the energy of what's coming through in the collective. So this vengeful energy, some of you are feeling a bit threatened. There is a bit of a threatened energy that's coming up that you feel can take from you what is yours. That is going to completely prevent you from having your Ten of Cups energy. And it's stifling because part of you is wanting to run, part of you is wanting to retaliate and be maybe aggressive. It's normal. Yeah, turning over a new life. It's like, is there a new thing coming? Now, this could connect in with your childhood, but there can be some information that comes up that challenges that. This might have already happened or is about to happen. There's going to be new information that comes, and it might make you guys feel a bit stuck. But when I'm seeing the Eight of Swords, and I've been seeing eights a bloody lot lately, so I'm telling you, August is going to be big. What's happening in August? We'll look at it later. Let's look at the energy psychically. I'm telling you. Apart from the Lionsgate portal, but there will be other energies going on. Probably Neptune retrograde. No, June. Can I see anything? Not so far. Okay, something to do with self-worth and self-value. And if you can move through it, stop sabotaging yourselves when it comes to are you enough. Yeah, me too. It's like, great, what's going on here? Okay, we're purging. We're flushing the toxins out. There you go, another spider energy. Incy wincy spider. I'm telling you, these spider energy. What are we painting? What are we, we're sensing something at a collective. We need to bring it back in. Now, karmic energy, external influences. Very much hermit mode energy. You guys are being loyal to the path. You're wanting your dues. You want it. Pay the ferryman. Pay the ferryman. You're wanting that to come full 360. You're ready for that. You're ready for that liquid gold. You're ready for that abundance. You're ready for the happiness. You may be feeling as though you've been so loyal to this path. Where is this? Where's this Ten of Cups? Where's losing hope? But you do have hope. It's just the fatigue. It's you're reflecting back on how much you saw this could be, where promises were made that didn't come to fruition, and it hurts. It really hurts. A lot of you can be feeling something's been hidden. Okay? Now, this hidden energy, again, is the scorpionic energy. You're basically learning how to control your own energy. So we can't control the environment, guys, right? Can't control the environment. But we can control ourselves. When that comes in, if you're holding something close to your chest, hi giggle, hey beautiful, bring that back in. There's a transformation here. I can see ladybugs on it. And I do feel there's a transformation. There is luck here when it comes to you guys having an ace, an upper hand in a situation that another person does not. I'm also seeing Some conflicts can be coming up. There can be some arguments. Now, this is due to external influences. So I'm going to sum it up when I get down to it. This also can be to do with, past hurts, past interferences, people being in their lives, the hurt that we felt with that. And as I said, at the moment, fight and flight with feminines, we're really running the risk of running. And we really need to come back down to the reality that we just need to be. Just be in this moment, allow the information to come, allow the healing to come, but don't run. Okay, there is going to be movement in this journey, and that may scare you. It might scare you, but something is shifting to bring your hopes back. Let's look into this further. It's like I'm hearing a double-sided sword, but I feel if anything, it's just external influences. Okay, what you're not seeing is this person has actually done a great deal of work. They've done a lot of work behind the scenes, and they are wanting to bring some of this information towards you. They're wanting to explain to you what's been happening in their life, how it's been, but you need to be open to hear it. Apart from the fact that initially a lot of you are going to want to express how you feel, and how much hurt and disappointment you've had, that will happen. But the healing has been here. This person does not want to go back to this energy. This person doesn't want to go back to being that human being. They've been working on themselves. They're tired of misfortune as well, and they're doing everything they can to avoid this. They're walking away from it. They're walking away from what doesn't serve them and what doesn't actually bring them. And they know where the value is. They are moving into self-worth and self-value. Okay, where are the influences that are impacting them? And I will pick for feminine as well. For feminine and masculine, what are these external influences and themes? Yeah, toxic energies, toxic paths, toxic patterns. Can be a karmic person. Let me see. Yeah, look, okay, whatever you had happen to you, they had it happen to them too. It wasn't nice. There was a lot of control here, and it's very dark. I'm feeling as though there is something of a contract that they had. Now, how do I put it? There was a lot of manipulation here. Okay, I'm seeing that they felt that they were used as a puppet, and this puppet energy was a lot of manipulation, a lot of psychological manipulation. They were trying not to see it, but they've seen themselves through this person, and it disgusted them. It's almost like in the background I'm seeing sun energy, which is, we're going to have the eclipse in Sagittarius, and I'm feeling it's really correlating with that because it's eclipse, which is sun energy, and it's really cycling out the masculine's ascension symptoms. It's a reflection back of how far they've come. While Jupiter is retrograde, they are doing this process. So the reason why many of you maybe aren't having as much movement potentially can be because they're really in the dark night of the soul energy, psychoanalyzing themselves, being very critical, maybe even exhausted from the process they've been through, in a fatigued sense. And I do feel prior to lockdown, they were moving. So this was what the delay was. But it was supposed to be this way. Trust in the process with it. It will serve you and it will move this much faster. So you haven't lost time. It's being given back to you. With this hourglass, they're not waiting for this perfect time anymore. They're reflecting back and they're looking at this energy, and they know that this was a very toxic cycle. They also do have people that are connected to them, that are taking from them and had been manipulating them for a very long time. And I feel this can be at a financial level and a psychological level, right? Now, they're having a download. And I do feel this download is in relation to where they're going, what they're doing. And again, this is all about change with 5. They've gone through maybe 5 direct situations or dealing with 5 direct scenarios. Now, even if you want to look at the 7 stages of healing, they're at the 5. So there's part of it will be with you. They knew this would happen. They're not surprised. They knew this would happen. I knew he'd call again. He's going to kill me. He'll live. Again, 5, picking up the pieces, moving forward. They're not giving up. They are not giving up on you. This is something that they're battling. They've been battling situations. They've been to war. There's green and blue here, which again, I'm feeling a lot of ego and heart. Head and heart decisions. I've never noticed that before. The blue on it is almost moving into purple energy. Yeah, look at this. I'll show you. I've never noticed this on the card. There is a sash that's green. There's a sash that's blue. Head and heart decisions. Clarification card. Love. Head and heart. And they've been fighting this, but you guys have been up in their grill. You've been in their head. You've been in their heart. You've been bouncing back and forward around their chakra system. Good on you, feminines. Head and heart decisions. Okay, they're going to be pretty darn direct. Now, also, I am feeling with page energies, this can relate to family, children, wanting a new cycle. All of your journeys are very unique and different, so it's going to depend on how it lands and what you're dealing with. Yeah, people that directly have been speaking out of tune about you and have been trying to block it, maybe even you. They're like, no, I want this. Why don't you want me? I want you. I want you. But I feel it's more to do with other people trying, because this is karmic energy here. So they're like frustrated and in awareness of who these people are and what they've been doing. And the manipulation hasn't been about the feminine. It's been about manipulating the masculine. And they're getting to the point, they're going, you know what? You're not going to stop me from my path. You can manipulate me. You are hurting yourself. You are disrespecting yourself by doing that. People are going to see you for who you are. Karmic. They are having their victory. They are not allowing. And look, the heart is on their sleeve. Look at this. I'll read your question in a minute, Dale. Dating, how long for? That can actually block the path moving forward. Journey. Yep, they're on their horse. They're coming. And it's funny because the horse is going forward, but in this, it's going backwards, which means they're coming back to you. Some of this old ground energy, there is a lot of control here of other people. There is a lot of jealousy. And again, it was influences. Now, these influences, these karmic influences, they were manipulating this person. Now, yes, they were part of that equation. All right, so we're going to go into 2 elements here. We're going to go into the reality that third-party energy can be family, children, co-workers, bosses, karmics. There's too many on the collective to read it individually. I do feel with the nodes shifting from Cancer over, there are old family cycles coming up and there are new ones being reset. If this can be corrected, it will be corrected with the external energies, but it's going to be corrected regardless, in a sense of it's going to be, this can create a balance. No, okay, goodbye. And that can be a painful experience for many people. You know, if you are in love with a person and you're dating, you know, just don't hurt yourself, man. Don't hurt yourself. Don't put yourself into a connection. I did this myself. I went into connections, and again, my twin flame will come up in my head. And it's a stifling way to live. It's shit. It also creates drama if you do feel that person's leveled up and ready. You are... it just continues to cycle. You don't have to wait, but from my experience, They end up coming back, then you're in a partnership, then you come back, they're in a partnership. It's like, when can we sit in our own energy and have a partnership with ourselves? Then when we have a partnership with ourselves, be it they're with someone or they're not, you're like, I know what I want. I'm not settling for less. Yeah, and it's now you have the direct reality of, well, you are in love with another person. How can you be with a person if you're in love with another person? You're not being fair to yourself. So it comes down to that, really, and it's not being fair to the other person. They're not going to make the cut. They're not. And it's not about the cut. It's you're not ready for that. And it's being mean to you. Why would you be mean to you? It's horrible lying there thinking about somebody else and you're with somebody else. That's more so with karmics, but wherever you are on the journey. I have to put my hair up properly. It's irritating me. Any questions while I'm here? Was there a question? Oh, thanks, Stella. Thank you, Stella. I love you, lady. We'll be talking soon. Yeah, so it's stifling to be in love with someone and in love with another person. It's a horrible frequency, but I am saying I'm going to pull 3 cards for union, because I'm telling you, I'm feeling it so close. It's disgusting. And the reason I say disgusting is because I've been through that part, right? So when you're in it, it is. You can just sit there and go, I want to cry about this person, and not feel like a liar. Or that you've got to micromanage those feelings and cry in your pillow. It's like, fuck that. No. I warned you attracted TF just before union, and it's you to pass a karmic test. All right. Thanks, Star. What's been going on, Stefan? Yeah, look, I did. And the thing was, I'd given a reading to a person that knew my twin. This was before separation. When we had Juno going retrograde, and Juno's going direct. Okay? That's when I had my breakup. That's when I had reunion, Juno. Why do you think I watched Juno? And Juno's in bloody Libra, just as be rebalanced. So, get ready, because 26th of May, it's going direct. Get ready. And we're in bloody Venus retrograde. Now, around that time, I was detaching from codependent connections, right? So micromanaging my wounds and going, you know what, I'm not going to be, yes, jealousy come up. There was a person who I did a reading for, and they were my twin's flatmate. And he was ever so adamant spiritually that he was not with this person. And the karmic test was, and this is where I looked back in my path and I went, what's going on here? Hang on a minute. Now, when we split, I had read for her, and she was the twin, but he was not her twin. And so some of you are talking about, and I think Luna Ash mentioned this, you can attract a twin. Don't attract another person's twin. It's your test. They're not your twin. You will break up because they are not your twin. They won't stay with you. It's not their soul path. So I had read for this woman, and she was a twin. And I was like, wow. So she ended up with my twin. And we were separated for 11 months, maybe 12. Did the soul work, not running, wanted to run. And stayed in the same environment, faced all my fears, allowed the purging to come up, really lived alone. And my house number was 9, so I went into great hermit mode energy, very spiritual too. Then somebody came towards me, and they happened to be a twin, and I was reading for them too. And there was a bit of a connection going on, and it reminded me, I said, and I did say at my healing point, if I meet someone and I feel that same vibration, I may entertain it. And I was dealing with soulmate energy back then as well. And they spoke to me and it didn't go anywhere because I saw it and it was like, no, you're where my twin was 10 years ago. Right? 10 years ago. And so thanks, Valerie. I love you, lady. So it's you being in alignment and passing that test. So if you're ending up there, there's something that you needed to learn about that cycle. There's something. And I really, through all my life, and especially soulmate taught me this, is close chapters properly. Do it correctly. Be in integrity. Move towards just having a great relationship with self. Just be you. That's all you need to do. Okay, union energy. First card come up is the Magician. Right? Which is ascension, alchemy, being able to have the control. Masculines, Magician energy. Okay, this conflict that is coming up needs to be dealt with ASAP, guys. And any energy of suppression is where the liberation comes from. Page of Swords. Okay, this person is micromanaging themselves. They're wanting this to be perfect. Okay, look, there's no such thing as perfect. Okay, oh, okay, yes. Whatever this energy was, they're out. They're like, I'm done. I'm sick of this person micromanaging me. They know who they want. And whatever is being stopped, whatever's being dragged out in this stagnation is to do with purging and healing. This new cycle with the Cancer eclipses coming through. Cancer eclipses are 0 degrees. The full card relates to 0 degrees. You're running out of time. Juno's going direct. The Cancer eclipse is next month. Chop. Love and light.